Today, we're going to be talking about a season that happened 3 years ago. Now, the 2021/22 season was unconventionally brilliant with this intoxicating blend of chaos brilliance and us readjusting to football with fans from the likes of Benzema in the Champions League single-handed taking on a whole army of players to the rise of AC Milan who woke up from this long slumber and won the Serie A, and Sadio Mane and Senegal who etched their name in football history winning AFCON, and it all started off in August of 2021 with one of the most wild transfer windows we have ever witnessed. We had Leo Messi leaving Barcelona to join PSG with his farewell livestream garnering over 1.2 million viewers on YouTube. We also had Cristiano Ronaldo joined Man United from Juventus with him scoring twice on his debut against Newcastle in one of the most emotional games that Man United fans have ever experienced. We also saw Jack Grealish break the British transfer record moving to Manchester City from Aston Villa for 100 million, and if it wasn't for this transfer, we might have seen Cristiano Ronaldo wearing light blue. Romelu Lukaku also rejoined Chelsea after an amazing stint at Inter Milan, with them literally paying to bring him back to the place where he started. And August of this year is also when Real Madrid made their mark by trying to sign Kylian Mbappe for 160 million. But ultimately this bid was rejected by PSG, but still we know how it eventually turned out. Now, early on in this season, we had some spectacular moments taking place right in front of our eyes. As football fans during the season, we were feasting because not only did we have an iconic Ronaldo debut at Manchester United, but we also got to see Neymar, Mbappe, and Messi all start for one team. But this wasn't the only great thing that was happening during the start of this season. From September to December, the league started to take shape. We were seeing who was going to finish at the top of this table before the league had really even gotten to the final stretch. You also had a vintage Salah season taking place with him getting 15 goals and 9 assists by December. And of course, Manchester United were in a bit of a sticky situation as well, with Ole Gunnar getting sacked after a 4-1 loss to Watford. And in La Liga, Real Madrid were taking shape with the likes of Benzema and Vini Jr. starting the season off great. Napoli in the Serie A were also having an amazing start to this season, winning 12 in their first 13 games with help from, of course, Victor Osimhen, who had 9 goals by December. And how could I forget Jose Mourinho, who was managing Roma during this season, and who did he have up top? Tammy Abraham in the Bundesliga. However, it was business as usual with Bayern Munich steamrolling away. They had 43 points in their first 18 games that season, with a lot of it down to Lewandowski's 19 goals so far. And of course, racing by behind Lewandowski, you had the brilliance of Haaland, who had 13 goals in 11 games. Let's quickly talk about the Champions League from that year too, because it was amazing. Now, Benzema this year was having a generational run, going on an amazing runner form and helping Real Madrid get past every stage of the Champions League. But you can't say he did it alone, because he had Vinicius, Rodrigo, Luka Modric, and all these guys playing for him. But let's take it back to that round of 16 and find out how Real Madrid started their Champions League campaign. And in the first leg, it was PSG that took the win with a 1-0 victory thanks to an Mbappe goal. But let's talk about that second leg, because PSG would actually take the lead 2-0 down on aggregate. The Real Madrid fans were looking to the sky for a miracle, but they didn't have to look up. They had to look back at the pitch, because it was Karim Benzema that took this game in his hands. He scored a 17-minute hat-trick against PSG in the round of 16, flipping the score to Real Madrid's side and helping them win 3-1 on the night and 3-2 on aggregate, and Benzema and Real Madrid would continue this form into the quarterfinals, with them now coming up against Chelsea. And in the first leg in April, Benzema did the unthinkable. He scored another Champions League hat-trick, scoring a goal in the 21st minute, the 24th minute, and the 46th minute to secure this victory for Real Madrid. But that second leg would see some drama, because Chelsea scored some themselves, but then you'd see a goal from Rodrigo, and then off the extra time it was Benzema again, with Real Madrid winning 5-4 in aggregate after the extra time. Now next up, another juggernaut would come to battle Real Madrid in Manchester City, a City side that were dominating the Premier League. And during that first leg, they would puff out their chest and say, you know what, we're just as good as you, winning 4-3 on the night. Although Benzema and Vinicius Jr. did score for Real Madrid, now Real Madrid were trailing going into this second leg, and for a lot of this game, it looked like Manchester City were poised, to make it to the final, and it was Riyad Mahrez, the Algerian magician, that would make matters even worse for Real Madrid supporters, scoring a venomous shot past Courtois and making the aggregate
score 5-3. By the 88th minute, it looked like Real Madrid's fates had been sealed, all luck was gone, but then one man showed up, a guy that has a dual passport, Brazil and Bangladesh, because in the 90th minute, Rodrigo pounced on an opportunity, Benzema flicked it, and Rodrigo was there to put it into the back of the net. But no, this was not going to be enough. They actually needed another, and it was just 91 seconds later where they got another one with Carvajal putting the ball into the box and Rodrigo again with a header. This time, this leveled the tie at 5-5. It entered extra time, and Benzema got the chance to make it his game with them giving away a penalty, and who else but the man with the tape around his hand, Benzema, brilliantly putting the ball into the back of the net and sealing the win for Real Madrid. They won 6-5 on aggregate, 3-1 in the game, and of course the final would take place between Real Madrid and Liverpool. And during this final between Real Madrid and Liverpool, it wouldn't be Benzema that would be man of the match. It would actually be Courtois. This guy had a 10 out of 10 performance, saved every chance that Liverpool threw at them, and pretty much won Real Madrid the Champions League, with of course Vini Jr. getting the only goal in the entire game. Now, in terms of the climaxes in the top 5 European leagues, we had Liverpool going up against Manchester City for this Premier League title, with Liverpool's 92 points falling short. In what world there's 92 points in the season fall short of you winning the league? And whilst Manchester City won the league, it was Spurs who won the Battle of North London, with them winning 3-0 against Arsenal in May, finishing with 71 points and a place in the Champions League. Real Madrid would win La Liga with Benzema scoring 27 goals in the league. AC Milan would also win the Serie A thanks to the likes of Olivier Giroud and Zlatan Ibrahimovic. And we'd also see some success from another Italian club in Europe too, with AS Roma winning the Conference League thanks to a 1-0 win against Feyenoord in the final. And of course it was Jose Mourinho's men who would win the trophy for him. Bayern would of course win the Bundesliga with Lewandowski finishing with 35 goals in the league, and RB Leipzig actually won the DFB Pokal this year with a squad full of, underrated gems at this time. It was also business as usual in the French league, with Paris Saint-Germain taking it again, Mbappe getting 28 goals and 17 assists in the league and kind of outshining the likes of Neymar and Messi, with Neymar getting 13 goals and Messi getting 6. And in terms of international competition too, we had an AFCON that had Salah going up against Sadio Mane, these two guys that were inseparable at Liverpool and both world-class in their own right during their peaks. And at the Olambe Stadium, the stakes couldn't be higher, with both of these sides just feeling the tension. After 120 minutes, it was still 0-0. And of course, it was like this script was written between these two players themselves, because Mane and Salah had to go up against each other in a penalty shootout, with Mane scoring the decisive strike to win 4-2 in the shootout and win the AFCON for Senegal. So from luck of Real Madrid to the AFCON of Senegal, what was your favorite moment of the 2021-22 season?